In today's video, we're extending our series, exploring your hot takes and controversial opinions within the world of watches. Grand Seiko over Rolex. Let's dive into our first hot take, Grand Seiko over Rolex. The argument suggests that Rolex is merely relying on its reputation without bringing innovation or freshness, except for color variations. Please note, this is just a perspective and I'm not trying to start a dispute. Apologies if it feels otherwise. This is my go-to phrase for handling mildly controversial statements or critiques. Now, on to the serious discussion. Grand Seiko versus Rolex often sparks tension among their fan bases. Comparing them isn't exactly apples to apples. Rolex's approach and production methods differ significantly from Grand Seiko's. When considering value for money, sans the brand hype, and delving into watchmaking intricacies, dial finishing, and creative expression, Grand Seiko tends to shine. However, if we talk about Rolex, claiming they're not innovating might overlook their strategic position. Given their consistent market growth and increased market share, it's logical for Rolex to maintain a conservative approach. Preserving their success without making drastic changes makes sense. It's a case of not fixing what isn't broken. As for the Grand Seiko versus Rolex debate, there are many aspects to consider, but in terms of value for money, dial finishing, and movement technology, Grand Seiko often comes out on top. Nonetheless, Rolex has its own strengths to rely on. Watch snobs aren't enthusiasts. Let's tackle our next hot take. Watch snobs aren't enthusiasts. The argument suggests that watch snobs are merely brand loyalists and not genuine enthusiasts. First, let's define what a watch snob is. In my view, it's someone who acts as an elitist gatekeeper, favoring exclusive items, which isn't necessarily a negative trait. The problem arises when they use this perspective to condescend to others. It's crucial to note that hostility can come from both sides. Some individuals unable to afford certain watches might criticize someone who owns a substantial collection of a specific brand like Omega, Patek, or Rolex. They may dismiss them as not true enthusiasts. The key factor should be enthusiasm. As long as you're not disparaging others for their preferences, it's all fair game. Attacking people for their choices is where things go awry. Enthusiasm should be celebrated, and claiming superiority as a watch enthusiast is a futile exercise. Now, on to the MoonSwatch musings. Addressing the MoonSwatch controversy, the claim suggests it's essentially a fake plastic Speedmaster, and Omega gets a free pass for double standards. While agreeing that the MoonSwatch isn't a real Speedmaster, it's noted that the distinction becomes apparent when holding the watch. Disagreement arises regarding the alleged double standards in the industry. Comparisons to Steinhardt and Pagani, criticized for making watches resembling submariners, are dismissed because Rolex, unlike Omega, hasn't collaborated with them. The absence of a comparable group structure is highlighted. The suggestion that Rolex could collaborate with Tudor is deemed potentially more acceptable, considering the shared luxury segment. The MoonSwatch is viewed as an entry-level, fun watch distinct from luxury timepieces, and opinions on Rolex collaborating with more affordable brands may vary based on perceived product quality. Our Grail watch. The next topic revolves around the concept of Grail watches. The argument posits that the idea of a grail is artificial, and the only watch that truly matters is the one you wear on the day you lose interest in the hobby. Personally, I believe the validity of the term grail depends on its definition. For me, a grail represents a sought-after watch, a distant goal. However, I do agree with the notion that the terms grail and exit watch are often used interchangeably, which in my opinion is a semantic nuance. The idea of an exit watch, the timepiece that supposedly fulfills one's interest entirely, is questioned. Having acquired watches that were long desired, I've realized that the desire for ownership doesn't cease upon acquiring the watch. While obtaining a sought-after piece is gratifying, it doesn't mark the culmination of the journey. Some envision that possessing a coveted watch concludes their all-logical pursuits, but I find this perspective lacking. Viewing these acquisitions as stepping stones in the journey is crucial. It's essential to cherish what you have, avoiding the constant pursuit of the next purchase or a perceived ultimate goal. Watches, at the end of the day, are enjoyable toys, and understanding that no single watch or purchase can wholly define or conclude one's horological journey can be either a disheartening or liberating realization. Personally, I find it liberating, shaping a more thoughtful approach to what I want to own and how I approach collecting timepieces. Oris Aquis over Tudor Black Bay. Now, let's discuss the comparison between the Oris Aquis Caliber 400 and the Tudor Black Bay, presented as a controversial take. The assertion that the Oris Aquis Caliber 400 is superior to the Tudor Black Bay may not seem extravagant after considering both watches firsthand. The hot take highlights the influence of branding and consumer perceptions. Oris faced resistance when introducing the Caliber 400, partly due to its prior association with sub-$2,000 Aquis models. People struggled to dissociate their preconceived notions of the brand with its new offerings. Tudor encountered a similar challenge with the Black Bay, initially positioned as a premium item. However, Tudor's strategic pricing of in-house movements played a role in easing the transition for consumers. The Aquis, priced just above $2,000, increased by a full $1,000 with the introduction of the in-house movement. While this might seem reasonable, the association with the lower-priced Aquis influenced perceptions. Comparing the watches side by side, one might argue that the Oris Aquis is even more refined with distinct surface finishes. The Oris takes a modern approach, akin to the Tudor Black Bay's nostalgic design. Contrary to assumptions of corner cutting, the Oris Aquis demonstrates careful craftsmanship. Examining the movements, both brands offer competitive features. The Tudor MT Movements boasts a 70-hour power reserve, COSC certification, tight tolerances, and a 5-year warranty. On the other hand, the Caliber 400 in the Oris Aquis offers a 120-hour power reserve, a 10-year warranty, and a quoted deviation of -3 to +5 seconds a day, despite lacking COSC certification. Moreover, the Oris Aquis is priced more affordably than the Black Bay. Considering all these factors, the claim that the Oris Aquis Caliber 400 surpasses the Tudor Black Bay doesn't seem far-fetched. This comparison underscores the intricate dynamics of brand perception, the impact of in-house movements, and the time it takes to reshape public opinion, even amid significant brand changes. All about the dial. Let's discuss the assertion emphasizing the importance of watch dials. I prioritize an attractive dial over overall craftsmanship. Even a budget quartz watch with a nice dial captures my interest. This viewpoint resonates with many watch enthusiasts, particularly in the sub-$3,000 range. In this segment, where brands often share similar movements, the dial becomes a pivotal factor for creativity and brand identity. Notably, brands like Anordain showcase the significance of dials in establishing uniqueness, leveraging intricate designs like enamel dials. While recognizing the dial's importance, it's acknowledged that in higher price ranges, other factors like hand-finished components and elevated movements gain prominence. In essence, the claim highlights the critical role of dials, especially in affordable watches, as a primary avenue for differentiation and expression for manufacturers. Rado Captain Cook needs some love. Rado52 suggests the Rado Captain Cook deserves more recognition. In the $2,000 range, it offers an 80-hour power reserve and slim profile, comparable to the Black Bay 58. It's somewhat underrated, possibly due to Rado's diverse designs, overshadowing its classic dive watch style. The sizing strategy could be refined with a 40mm option. Despite this, the Captain Cook's design in ceramic versions, especially the high-tech ceramic option, at just above $3,000 make it a standout. And that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Your support is highly appreciated. I invite you to share your opinions, agreeing or disagreeing with my takes, or those presented in the video, in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.